How's it going, everybody? Ty Sites Shadow Games Report. Doing part 8 of Oblivion tonight. I meant to post a little bit about the king before I got started. I forgot to. It's alright. We'll work our way into it. Summer is almost here. I don't know if I should get excited or be worried. The way gas prices and the way the world is right now. I don't know. I'm just glad I took a day in between my news days, like doing the news, being a part of the show and everything. I'm glad that I have a day in between all that now. I feel so much better. I don't feel like so clogged down with all the information overload. It's good to take breaks. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm going to be taking probably more breaks throughout the summer. I don't know. We'll just have to see. We'll play as we go. I need some new games if we're going to be doing this show. Haven't been looking for too many new games lately, but I was actually thinking about playing Battlefield 6 tonight, and I ended up not having the new download for it yet, so I'm gonna wait on that and play Oblivion. I gotta play this subscription that I got anyways with Game Pass. I needed to just buy the game. I like the game enough to just buy it, so I actually like it better than the first time I played it too, so it kind of helps. Anyways, we are going to do about 30 minutes to an hour of news before we get into the game. Maybe an hour and a half, sometimes I go over. I'm going to try to keep it at around an hour. I hate going over now. An hour and a half just feels too long. Is that just me? Alright, let's pause this music. Good place to pause. Alright, let's jump into today's headlines. Trump lands in Beijing with CEO delegation for high-stakes Xi summit. Pentagon considers Operation Sledgehammer if Iran ceasefire fails. Guess just more strong arming, more brute force. Hasn't really been working out, but I guess if you just do it until they're all dead, how can you lose? Senate unanimously advances resolution to delay pay during shutdowns. That doesn't sound good. Vance and Oz suspend 800 fraudulent LA hospices, defer 1.3 billion California payments. Rubio urges China to pressure Iran on Strait of Hormuz disruptions. I mean, if China wants oil, I would assume that China would probably want that, but I don't know. Does China have some other cards up their sleeve? Maybe they have access to other oil. I know that Russia was going to cut a deal with them, but I don't know if that was going to be enough to actually make them subside on, not caring about Iran. I feel like Russia and Iran didn't really come to. I'm sorry, I didn't feel like Russia or China came to Iran's aid. That's what I meant to say. But I don't know. I guess at the same time, there was a lot of logistical support from China and Russia, more through satellite, doing kind of like the same thing that the U.S. was doing for Ukraine with different satellite feeds, different logistical support. Utah grief author sentenced to life in prison and husband's poisoning death. NASA's Mars Perseverance, totally jacked up that word, Mars Perseverance rover sends new self-portrait from the red planet. I feel like that's one of their older rovers that they sent, maybe 2000s. I don't know, maybe it was 90s. I don't know, I don't know. I want to say it was 2000s though. Prosecutors Chinese-American curried favor for CCP officials before opening police outpost. Interesting. Ex-Brooklyn judge accused of swindling real estate investors out of millions of dollars. Remains of second U.S. soldier who went missing during military exercises in Morocco have been recovered. That's good, I guess. I mean, it's the remains. It's kind of a long overdue. Dominican opposition criticizes deal with U.S. to take third country deportees. High school senior speaks out after getting accepted for 65 colleges. Isn't that a good thing? He speaks out? I don't know. Lots of questions with that. Kevin Warsh wins Senate confirmation as the next Federal Reserve chair. Also a presumed friend of Epstein, or at least had some weird links to him. Might have even had some financial links, if I remember correctly, but don't go with that just yet, because I don't remember exactly. Look it up. Look it up. Make sure I'm right. Drug counselor who said Matthew Perry fatal dose of ketamine is sentenced to 2 years in prison. Oh, good. Honestly, I think... So, drug counselor? I doubt that. I bet it was probably his doctor. I don't know. Didn't his doctor get out of it somehow? Blamed it on his drug counselor? Whoever the hell... Who has a drug counselor, by the way? Unless you're, like, recovering. South Carolina Supreme Court grants Alex Murdaugh's... Or Murdaugh. Is it Murdaugh or Murdo? I don't know. Appeal for new trial. Trump arrives in Beijing for talks with China's Xi on Iran war, trade, and U.S. arms sales to Taiwan. Interesting. Will this deter China from wanting to go into Taiwan? Maybe just strengthen some business deals between the two? I don't know, man. I don't know. Who holds the cards in this whole situation? Doesn't really seem like China's too worried. I don't know. You guys might have a different opinion, but I don't know. FBI Director Kash Patel denies drinking allegations in heated Senate exchange, agrees to alcohol test. She probably should if he's partying with different sports teams as the FBI Director. Alright, let's get into today's content. Looks like we have different news feed over here. Maybe I should refresh and see what I get. Oh, I think it changed over here too. Okay, whatever. The U.S. Senate has just successfully advanced Kevin Warsh to become Trump's chairman of the Federal Reserve. I think I covered that a few days ago. Pete Hegseth just announced today I'm convening a special review panel to conduct comprehensive long-term department-wide review of every aspect of the military legal system impacting our service members. I also covered that. J.D. Vance confirms to Nick Shirley that they are reversing standing U.S. government policy of refusing to prosecute any fraud under $1.5 million. Pretty sure I covered that as well. Went back a little bit just to make sure I got everything. Yeah, we covered all this. I went too far. It's alright. Alright, we got Dan Bilzerian. I don't think I covered... Yeah, I didn't have a show yesterday, so I didn't cover this. Dan Bilzerian was on the Alex Jones show, I think on, what was it, Monday or Tuesday? And, kind of started off as Alex Jones trying to smear him, but...
If you were the president...
Dan is so nice and came back capable of defending himself and also saying that basically he was misinterpreted and misquoted to some degree, misclipped. Also, as well, that's something that definitely takes a lot of people out of context, is misclipping people. How someone will ask a specific question, but then they'll, be baited to answer in a certain way, and then they'll take that question out, and then all you see is that person's response, and then you're like, what is he talking about?
What would you do? If you were the president, what would you do?
I would declare war on Israel. I would cut off. I mean, at a minimum, I would cut off all foreign aid. I would let Iran have free will to do what they want with Israel. I would kind of let the problem probably take care of itself, to be honest, because if we stop defending Israel, I think they would get what they deserve. They have been persecuting these Palestinians. They've been operating apartheid. They've attacked all their neighbors. I mean, they bombed 7 countries in a year. They continue to just have unprovoked aggression. I mean, they are a total terrorist nation. I just don't understand how they're not qualified as a terrorist nation. They have nukes. They acquired them illegally. They refused to sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and they said that they would just kill everybody if they feel threatened. So, please tell me, Alex, how does that not make them the greatest terrorist threat to the world today?
If you were the president of the United States, what would you do?
Oh, I mean, well, you look at what JFK wanted to do, right? He wanted to sign the Zionist lobby, which is now AIPAC. He wanted to register them under FARA. That's what he signed into action. I mean, that absolutely needs to happen. They're a foreign government that's influencing our policy, that's bribing our politicians. That would be where we would start. I mean, the next thing JFK did is that he sent Ben Gurion a letter saying that if they don't allow all the nuclear inspections, that he's going to cut off all their aid and actual nuclear inspections, not their dog and pony show where they pretend to not have nukes. And so what did they do? They killed JFK, and then LBJ came in and he overturned all that. Now they didn't have to register under FARA. The Zionist lobby turned into AIPAC, and then he basically just allowed them to have all the nukes they wanted, didn't force the nuclear inspections. And what did he say when the USS Liberty was attacked? He said, I don't care how many U.S. sailors die as long as we don't embarrass our greatest ally, Israel. So, I mean, what does that tell you? I mean, I think that's when we really lost control of our country.
Well, it's definitely true that Israel is exerting a lot of control over our country. What is it like? Have you run into Randy Fine yet on the campaign trail? Describe your district, because he is the nastiest Zionist in America, and that's staying alive. I mean, have you run into him yet?
I have not, but I find it very hypocritical that the anti-Semitism laws that he passed, if he were to say all the things that he says about Muslims, about Jews, he would be in jail for 5 years based on the laws that he passed in this district. And so he is against freedom of speech. He's not American. He wants to send our tax dollars to Israel. He's advocated for us nuking Gaza. He wants the streets of Gaza to run with Palestinian blood. He said that Muslims are lower than dogs. I mean, this guy is the most vile Jewish supremacist that we have. And to me, that is the greatest threat to the world today. It's not Zionists. It is Jewish supremacy. And he is the embodiment of Jewish supremacy. So that is why I wanted to take him on.
So you say just in the last, 4 years or so, or 3 years, October 7th woke you up to this issue, and now you're on the air saying basically exterminate. I mean, that's a quote. You're saying to mean everybody. Where do you see this? I asked a question before, but I want you to really get into it. If you were the president, what would you do?
I would declare war on Israel. I would cut off. I mean, at a minimum, I would cut off all foreign aid. I would let Iran have free will to do what they want with Israel. I would kind of let the problem probably take care of itself, to be honest, because if we stop defending Israel, I think they would get what they deserve. They have been persecuting these Palestinians. They've been operating apartheid. They've attacked all their neighbors. I mean, they bombed 7 countries in a year. They continue to just have unprovoked aggression. I mean, they are a total terrorist nation. I just don't understand how they're not qualified as a terrorist nation. They have nukes. They acquired them illegally. They refused to sign the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, and they said that they would just kill everybody if they feel threatened. So, please tell me, Alex, how does that not make them the greatest terrorist threat to the world today?
We've been right about the poison shots and raising the alarm, and right about the open borders, and right about the wars, and right about the entire agenda. That's why the bad guys want us off air. And that's why it's such a revolutionary act when you take the live feed from Real Alex Jones on X or on Rumble at H.
Fox News alert, wheels up. Air Force One's on the way to Beijing. The commander-in-chief preparing for a high-stakes meeting with Xi Jinping. China's already rolling out the red carpet because the president's bringing the dream team, Rubio, Hegseth, and Scotty B. Rubio's been banned and sanctioned by the Chinese for 6 years, and they just lifted it. He's clear. And the president's bringing the best and brightest, 16 CEOs, including from Apple, Boeing, Goldman, and Visa, all flying west. Even Elon's making the trip. Should be just like the good old times. POTUS says we make a lot of money with China and is using the trip as a big business opportunity. But the two will have a lot to talk about. AI, Taiwan, and obviously Iran.
I won't talk about it. I think it's been relatively good, to be honest with you. You look at the blockade, no problem. They get a lot of their oil from that area. We've got no problem. And it's been a friend of mine. He's been somebody that we get along with. And I think you can see that good things are going to happen. It's going to be a very exciting trip. A lot of good things are going to happen.
Beijing's economy is showing some cracks, and without their top 2 oil proxies, Iran and Venezuela, the Chinese are getting a little desperate. And they may even offer us a little help with the gay Ayatollah. But President Trump says, I don't bother.
No, I don't need any help with Iran. We'll win it one way or the other. We'll win it peacefully or otherwise.
The generals prefer otherwise. They're saying the Iranians just drove past a major off-ramp. We could be on the road to more war. NBC reporting that the president already has a name if he restarts bombing again. Operation Sledgehammer. Time's running out for peace.
It's very simple. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They will not have a nuclear weapon. They know that. They've agreed to that. And then that's not what they said to me when it came to Fed. We don't play games. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
The president called Iran's latest proposal unacceptable. And now the ceasefire is on life support. 47 might have to break the negotiation stalemate.
According to regional sources that I talked to this morning, the domestic pressure on the regime is increasing each and every day, and they view this broadly as something called death by 1,000 cuts. They believe that President Trump has a variety of options on the table moving forward that could damage the Iranian regime further on a military level that would make it even more difficult for those in Tehran to rebuild after the war.
Reports say the president's considering a resumption of major combat operations. The Pentagon says they are locked and loaded.
We have a plan to escalate if necessary. We have a plan to retrograde if necessary. We have a plan to shift assets. Certainly in this setting, we wouldn't reveal what the next step may be, considering the gravity of the mission that the president is undertaking to ensure that Iran never has a nuclear bomb.
On the menu, a special ops mission to snatch Iran's uranium. In the last 48 hours, both Trump and the Israelis have toyed around with the idea.
How do you envision the highly enriched uranium will be removed from Iran?
You go in and you take it out.
With what? Special forces from Israel? Special forces from the United States?
Well, I'm not going to talk about military means, but President Trump has said to me, I want to go in there.
The Pentagon just revealed the location of a top-secret submarine capable of launching nuclear missiles. The Ohio-class sub's docked in Gibraltar, and its Trident II ballistic missiles can hit targets over 4,500 miles away. The Pentagon never discloses the locations of their nuclear subs, and they just did, just hours after the Iranians sent us that crummy proposal. On the ground, the military's training robo-dune buggies with mounted machine guns. It's next-gen stuff. They were just seen in Morocco, similar terrain to Iran. And we're also going to start arming Apache helicopters with their own drones. Look at that. Also in the skies, our B-1 bombers are conducting training missions. And here are the Super Hornets and Growlers launching from the USS Lincoln. General Keane says we might have to pull the trigger.
We know the regime is likely going to survive, even if we return to combat operations, but we would want it to be so weakened that it's vulnerable to collapse. I think we've given negotiations truly a test of time to see if it would work, and it's not going to work. And my judgment is the best thing to do is go back and finish what we started.
The UAE is jumping in too. Reports say they've been carrying out secret strikes on Iran. They hit an oil refinery last month. And Reuters is reporting that the Saudis got off the sidelines. In retaliation to Iranian aggression, the kingdom launched missiles inside the mainland. You know it's bad when the Jews and Arabs are on the same page. The Iranians, still talking a big game though. The parliament speaker says this: our armed forces are ready to deliver a well-deserved response. Mistaken decisions will always lead to mistaken results. The Iranians still haven't even broken through our wall of steel. The embargo's already turned around 65 ships. And economic fury is squeezing the IRGC's oil pipeline to the Chinese. Besant just slapped on more sanctions. Raising Cane says the Iranians are feeling it.
They are absolutely feeling that pressure, not just from the blockade, as the Secretary talked about, but the continuation of sanctions that Treasury and others have put on there, and we retain a range of military options.
The Democrats, though, they say we're losing.
We've achieved a series of tactical successes, but are on the verge of a strategic loss because we are now negotiating. Just to consult here we are in a committee of the United States Senate, 74 days in, and you're talking about strategic loss. We have the ability to defeat a 47-year threat of a pursuit of a nuclear weapon. We have more leverage than we've ever had. We've had incredible battlefield successes, and you're talking about a strategic loss?
Democrats, like the Iranians, are begging for a stalemate. And the media, well, they just can't keep up.
The president promised to bring inflation down. It's now at its highest level in 3 years. Are your policies not working?
My policies are working incredibly. If you go back to just before the war, for the last 3 months, inflation was at 1.7%. Now, we had a choice. Let these lunatics have a nuclear weapon. If you want to do that, then you're a stupid person. And you happen to be. I mean, I know you very well.
The markets are stomaching all of this. The Dow is up today. Wages are up even after that hot inflation report because Iran closed the strait. But the price of crude is still down from 2 weeks ago. And the president says this all ends soon. And it only ends in one way.
We're either going to make a deal or they're going to be decimated. But one way or the other, we win.
The president's heading into China in high spirits. Next 48 hours will be huge. The United States is prepared for anything. We've been wargaming with all our Pacific allies all spring and just announced Space Force, alongside America's space allies, just completed a joint plan for conducting orbital warfare by the end of the year. And we're selling Taiwan $25 billion in weapons in case the Chinese get frisky. We're going to turn that little island into a little porcupine. Whatever happens, we're dressed for success. Rubio slipped into a Nike sweatsuit on Air Force One. It's the same outfit that Maduro rocked when we nabbed him.
A few minutes ago, Ken Griffin, the CEO of Citadel, came out and said that energy costs will lead to a global recession. He was emphatic about that. Jeff Curie of the Carlyle Group said people don't understand what we're about to face here, that we are in a deficit right now for oil in the United States, and that once the shortages hit, it's game over. He's never seen anything like this. He just spoke about this a few hours ago. Watch.
I still say that with you, it's going to be, sometime the month of May that you're going to end up with Europe hitting tank bottoms, and in the U.S. it's somewhere in that July 4th time period. If not sooner, by the way. The inventory is never coming out of the U.S. The ones we got last night, the ones last week, I've never seen anything like that before. The analogy I think is like in that movie Jaws, when the mayor declares the beaches are open, you can see the fin swimming around there, and the fin are these inventory numbers. And I think that it's important to remember that these inventory numbers, let's define terms, a deficit versus a shortage. We have a deficit today, meaning that demand is above supply and we're drawing inventories. It's not a shortage yet. So to answer your question, you have the shortages in places like Asia, and it's not that bad yet because you're not completely at tank bottoms. But in places like Europe and the United States, you're in a deficit, and you don't hit the shortages until you hit tank bottoms.
Tank bottoms in July 4th. Already feeling this, of course, across Asia and Europe. We're joined by Colonel Douglas McGregor now to talk more about this energy shock that we're about to see. Of course, you were talking about Jeff Curie earlier. Colonel, just your thoughts on what we're about to see from an energy perspective as it relates to what's happening with the war in Iran and the Strait of Hormuz.
My friends in India talked to me this morning and told me that oil is $118 a barrel right now.
Wow.
If you're talking about jet fuel, then it's exceeding now $250 a barrel. That's jet fuel. That means that the airlines in many cases are going to go under. Now, people will say, well, Spirit was already in trouble. That may be true, but I know that Lufthansa has canceled thousands of flights. We're going to see much more of that. Anything involved in distillates, LPG, LNG, all these things, they're all at premium prices. Everything is going to become more expensive when it tanks, to the extent that Jeff Curie pointed out. Imagine what the cost will be in this country as well as overseas. How do you get it across to President Trump that when fertilizer doesn't move, crops don't grow? When feedstock doesn't arrive, livestock don't eat. When fuel doesn't flow, trucks don't run, and trucks run on diesel. And diesel is in very short supply. Heat doesn't show up, air conditioning doesn't work, and food doesn't end up on the shelf. That's really where we're headed right now. And it's all because of the stupidity in the Persian Gulf. Now, when I listened to Secretary Rubio this morning, said, what we really want is a free access and flow of traffic through the Strait of Hormuz. Well, Mr. Secretary, that's exactly what you had before you attacked Iran.
Right.
Good Lord.
Now we're going back to what we already had, and that's now, I guess that's now the strategic goal in all of this, is go back to where we were before we decided to start bombing them.
Right. I see my feed is full. My sort of Instagram stories are all people who are like, leave Iran alone. I do not want these prices at the pump. They're not buying it. Even if President Trump is telling these children, we had to do it, had to be done, they were going to nuke us all. Nobody buys it. Can you believe what you're seeing? And, you've been through many war propaganda cycles. This seems like the worst.
Well, it certainly is at least as bad as I remember in Vietnam. It took us a long time to figure out that, contrary to popular belief, we weren't really stopping communism in Vietnam. That this was actually a civil war that we'd involved ourselves in. Here's the most important question. Who is governing our country? You got to answer that question. And for whom are the people in Washington governing the United States? Now, our founders, answered that question pretty clearly, actually unambiguously. They said the government of the United States derives its legitimate power from the consent of the governed, not from foreign sources, foreign courts, foreign treasuries, foreign governments, foreign interests. It comes from the American people. And go back to what you said, Clayton. He's never talked to the American people about this war. And when he did, as sort of a sideshow, when he spoke on the State of the Union, and he mentioned Iran must never have a nuclear weapon, and like trained seals, everybody stood up on both sides of the aisle and clapped, even though there was no such animal in Iran.
Right. Well, that's a question.
Who is in charge?
Yeah, who is in charge? Here's a question from Southern Griscom. I'm going to put this up on the screen. It says, how will you guys feel if Trump succeeds? He campaigned on no new wars, and Iran with no nuclear power is a better world. Otherwise, China or Russia would have sold them nukes. What are your thoughts on this? I mean, I'll just say, I don't know that Iran having its own nuclear power to support its own people is an affront to the world. I think that it would enrich and help the Iranian people. I think I would be fully supportive of them having their own nuclear power to power their buildings and infrastructure. But if Trump succeeds, how will we feel? What does success mean to?
Well, I thought we already did succeed because we blew up their nuclear weapons
They're
last year.
obliterated, yeah. Go ahead, Philip.
Well, that question defeats itself because if he campaigned on no new wars, he didn't step into this already in process. It wasn't like he just walked into a war in progress in Iran. He started it. You can't succeed. You can't succeed and then start no new wars argument. You already lost that argument.
Colonel, what do you make of that question?
Well, first of all, India and Pakistan both have nuclear weapons. We have not gone to war with either state. We have always had concerns about Pakistan because it has been, in many respects, a hotbed of radical Islam. But thus far, the Pakistani military has been very professional, exercised close control over those weapons. We know that North Korea has nuclear weapons. We also know that the North Korean dictator has been told in no uncertain terms by President Xi of China, and for that matter, President Putin, if you initiate a war with someone and use a nuclear weapon as a result, we will not support you. However, if you are attacked, that's a different story. So contrary to everyone's public criticism and insistence that North Korea could attack us at any time, it's very clear they're not going to attack us because they don't want to be obliterated. And they know that's what would happen. But they've also been told by the two nations that have acted in their behalf not to do it. So I agree with you, Clayton. If Iran develops a nuclear capability, that's Iran's business. Iran has not opened a war against anybody for over 200 years. It has not tried to expand its borders at anybody's expense for over 200 years. I think we're going to live in a world in the future that's going to be different from what we think it ought to be. It's a collection of states that have clear and unambiguous interests. And the big issue for everybody is going to be resource sovereignty. Everybody is now going to be very concerned that they have on hand all of the things that are essential to their survival. And that means energy. Energy in all forms and all types.
Resource sovereignty. I think you're absolutely, man, you hit the nail on the head. Forget this unipolar world order. It is really shifting to this multipolar world order where they need to protect themselves. Go ahead, sir.
I guess when I think about who could actually do that, Africa has aligned itself greatly with China. They will have more access than they have now with sort of the crappy relationship they have with the United States and our sort of...
And France.
Right.
Yeah.
Europe is the one place I think that cannot do it, that cannot be resource sovereign. And, they're just going to be dragged through the mud. I don't see how Europe can survive. I don't see how NATO can survive something like this. I don't know. What do you think of that? That was sort of my knee-jerk reaction.
Setting aside the possibility that the aliens that we talk about periodically operating aircraft that we can't explain may land and ultimately share with us the secret to relating light, gravity, and magnetism, then I guess you're right. Europe is going to have more difficulty than most, but not totally hopeless. Right now, the largest cache of rare earths in Europe thus far has been discovered just a few hundred feet offshore from the Norwegian coast. We know there are tremendous stores of energy, rare earths, and other critical minerals in the Arctic. And the other thing is, remember that one of the reasons we ended up in this terrible position now with Russia is that we, as led by globalists, and unfortunately President Trump has not turned this around, although he promised to do so, convinced everybody that you shouldn't buy cheap energy from Russia because Russia's real insidious plan was to conquer you. Well, that was always nonsense. There's no money in territorial imperialism. I thought everybody figured that out. That's a dead end. Governing other people's nations is both wasteful, counterproductive, doesn't work well because people want to govern themselves. Right. So much better to do business. Germany has been practically destroyed, deindustrialized, because under its own leadership and ours, what have they done? They've cut themselves off from Russia's cheap gas. And we know historically that cheap energy, cheap credit are linked. If you don't have cheap energy, you can't get cheap credit. And that's what we're seeing happen slowly but surely with each passing day. You'll hear people who finally speak up and say, have you noticed the bond yields are rising? Yeah, they're rising. And we have a $39 trillion sovereign national debt. And how is that amassing with each passing month, with each passing year? It's unsustainable. So you need the cheap energy. If you got cheap energy, you're also combating inflation. We are in a terrible mess right now because we've killed the two, cheap energy and cheap credit. No cheap credit means you can't refinance. And right now, all the big private equity firms are in trouble. BlackRock and a host of others because they can't refinance. They're trying to borrow money to become liquid because very few of their assets are liquid. They need liquidity. The banks need liquidity. How do you get it? You borrow it. But you can't borrow at higher and higher interest rates. So we're headed for a giant steel reinforced concrete wall.
Fuck
it's coming. And I don't see how we avoided it at this point.
Crash it. I want something new anyways. Crash it. I don't give a shit anymore. Just get it over with and let it be fast and let it not be so painful.
We've made the argument to the Chinese, and I hope it's compelling, and they'll have a chance to do something about it at the United Nations later this week when there's a resolution just condemning Iran on what they're doing with the Straits. Look, there's three things. The Chinese have ships stuck in the Persian Gulf because setting up a system that says we're going to let certain ships through but others not, it's easier said than done. And you saw a not Chinese flag vessel, but it was Chinese cargo, got hit over the weekend. I'm sure Iran didn't do it deliberately, but they did it. It happened. And so that's why these Chinese ships are stuck in there. The second is, I don't think that China, it's a huge source of instability. It threatens to destabilize Asia more than any other part of the world because it's heavily reliant on the Straits for energy. And the third reason is because China's economy is export driven, meaning their economy is fueled not by what they consume domestically, but by what they make and sell to other countries. Well, if all the countries of the world economies are melting down because of this crisis in the Straits, they're going to be buying less Chinese product, and the Chinese exports are going to drop precipitously. So it's in their interest to resolve this. We hope to convince them to play a more active role in getting Iran to walk away from what they're doing now and trying to do now in the Persian Gulf. We've made the argument.
Apparently, It is Jewish American Heritage Month. These months just get new names every single president, it seems like, at this point. So, I don't know. How long will it last? Will it last to the next presidency? I guess we'll just have to see. I don't think the whole Juneteenth and all that stuff survived all that long, but, I don't know. Maybe these will survive. I don't even feel like reading this. I'm not in a reading mood today, as you can tell. I haven't been reading much. I don't get paid to read, so why should I? Why should I? I'm just kidding. Sometimes I'll read. I just don't feel like it right now. Who's this? Miss Mel Chin tells me how China literally gave him a new name. That's a man? Gave him a new name to bypass their own sanctions on him. Okie dokie. Always ask everybody's gender these days, guys. Just a rule to go by. Make sure you don't end up with something you don't want. Just saying. Just trying to help out the kids. Alright, let's see here. Trump claims Iran Navy destroyed amid ceasefire tensions. Oh, old joy. Good old joy. He's still saying it, guys. The good old Navy's destroyed, even though I really have. Okay, I don't want that music playing. Got some mech robot with tiny arms, if you ask me. I feel like they probably should have gave it some longer arms. Especially if you want it to wrap around the front of the cage. The tumble cage, I'll call it. Donald Trump says, when the fake news says the Iranian enemy is doing well militarily against us, it's virtual treason, and that it is such a false and even preposterous statement. Virtual treason? What? Doesn't even make sense. Hey, get off my freaking computer. I saw an ant. It's ant season, guys. Get your bug spray out. I'm serious. Getting these bastards out of here before it gets too crazy. Oh, it's walking like a dog now. Is that why it has the same? Maybe that's why it had those short arms. So it could do stuff like that. I don't know. ICE has just announced a jaw-dropping fraud bust, saying 10,000 foreign students are involved in federal government's optional practical training.
Information provided to DHS. Under the Biden administration, the fraud escalated even further. Today, we are announcing that we have identified over 10,000 foreign students who claim to be working for highly suspect employers. And that's just among the top 25 OPT employers. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Over the past year, we've dramatically expanded our oversight of OPT and can report that we've found fraud nationwide. HSI agents have visited problematic OPT employer work sites in Virginia, Texas, Georgia, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, North Carolina, and Florida. Many of these employers include NGOs engaged in suspicious activity. We've discovered empty buildings and locked doors at addresses where hundreds of foreign students are allegedly employed. In many cases, multiple OPT employers claim to operate from the same address, but none actually lease the facility. We found small residential addresses listed as work sites for hundreds of foreign students, yet no employees were present. When someone does answer the door, their statements are inconsistent, or they claim no knowledge of the business. We're also seeing financial red flags. Many alleged employers display clear fraud indicators, including tax liens, civil lawsuits, collections, and breaches of contract. And we are seeing suspicious financial transactions moving cash across multiple countries. We've discovered that numerous businesses fail to maintain basic employment records for the foreign students, raising serious tax reporting concerns. Some employers claim to have offshore human resources and payroll personnel. And finally, we're finding what we call phantom employees. We've identified foreign students who obtained work authorization documents through OPT, but never showed up for work at the sites they claimed. While we can't share details of ongoing investigations, I can assure you that more information is forthcoming and that we are taking this fraud very seriously. With that, I'll turn it over to the Acting Executive Associate Director for HSI, Mr. John Conlon, who can speak in greater detail. John.
Thank you, Director Lyons. Last week, HSI investigators and compliance officials conducted site visits at 18 OPT work sites in North Texas. Our findings were alarming. We discovered coordinated employer clusters where numerous
Don't be like
employers in the
that.
same building complex are running nearly identical websites, sharing job postings and management personnel, but claiming no business relationships with each other. We found shell company schemes where multiple OPT employers are established by the same owner-operator, indicating a deliberate scheme to structure income and evade taxes. We've encountered employers who claim only a handful of OPT employees, despite our records showing that hundreds of students claim to work there. To give you an example, one employer we visited claimed to employ only 3 foreign students through OPT, while our records show over 500 foreign students claiming to work there. The company's representatives were unable to answer basic questions about the business and referred to HR managers in India. OPT employers are required to directly train foreign students, but we've seen multiple examples of alleged employers claiming that all management is overseas in India. We've also discovered multiple state networks which are large networks of alleged employers claiming to train thousands of foreign students in OPT, then farming them out to unreported third-party employers, making oversight nearly impossible and raising serious national security issues. And we found potential evidence of international financial fraud. Our investigators have discovered questionable financial networks crossing multiple countries involving numerous bank accounts and complex transactions. These cases aren't limited by geography. In Houston, we found an alleged OPT employer accused of pay-to-stay visa fraud who was charging students under the table to help them fraudulently maintain visa status. The phony employer had never operated from a listed address, and over 100 foreign students allegedly employed there were nowhere to be found. In Georgia, we found an alleged IT company's address was nothing but a P.O. box. The owner operated a second related company across the street, also allegedly employing dozens of foreign students. The location was empty. One of the company's websites was flagged by DHS firewalls as potential malware, a common marker of fraudulent OPT employers. In New Jersey, we discovered an OPT employer who claimed to employ over 150 foreign students but couldn't answer basic questions about who they were or what they were hired to do. We only encountered one of these students who revealed he had not worked for the listed company in over a year. He was instead being trained by a company based in India. And in a New York condo allegedly housing dozens of foreign students, a supposed employer became visibly upset and denied any knowledge of the company, despite DHS records and student reports confirming otherwise. A foreign student confirmed the individual was the owner but could not explain his denial. HSI will continue to investigate these cases, among several others. Dr. Lyons?
Thank you, John. Let me be clear. Foreign students themselves are entering false addresses and employer names into the student exchange visitor information system. But we are uncovering evidence of organized fraud that spans national and international borders. This is not accidental. It is deliberate, coordinated, and criminal. DHS will relentlessly investigate, disrupt, and refer for prosecution anyone who exploits our programs. We've intensified our vetting at consulate posts overseas, targeting trafficking, forced labor, document fraud, and unauthorized employment among student visa applicants. I commend our HSI agents and support staff for their unwavering commitment to defending the integrity of the student and exchange visitor program. This fraud is not victimless. It is a blatant attack on the goodwill of the American people who generously allow foreign nationals access to our education system. If you're an employer or a foreign student engaged in fraud against the United States, you are advised to return home or surrender immediately. The criminal, civil, and immigration.
I'm going to pause it right there. So apparently President Xi Jinping did not personally meet with President Trump whenever he landed, which usually is a sign of disdain when a president does stuff like that. Just my opinion. I don't know the Chinese politics all that well, but I just don't see this as a very happy move. If you ask me. Tyler Oliveria says he got banned from Israel and deported back to America for anti-Semitic content. No idea what they're saying, so I'm just like,
Denied access to the SCIF, and so to my knowledge what's going to happen now is not only do we have the support of the chairman, but they're going to get a nice letter from Congress, and as you heard, Representative Ogle said if we're denied, we're going to use the Holman rule and we'll defund the position.
And I was told by leadership that it was blocked by the leadership that it was blocked.
Denied access to the SCIF, and so to my knowledge what's going to happen now is not only do we have the support of the chairman, but they're going to get a nice letter from Congress, and as you heard, Representative Ogle said if we're denied, we're going to use the Holman rule and we'll defund the position.
And I was told by leadership that it was blocked by the intelligence community, not the intelligence committee, but the intelligence community, and that is a very chilling effect. If someone can reach through the veil of government and pierce it to the point of we do not have access to something, you got to start asking yourself who the hell's in control. And I think it'd be wise for you all to start looking at some financial disclosures of some of those corporations, some of the people who do the stonewalling in this town. And that's what we're going to start doing. We're going to start talking to people. We're going to start naming names. I want you to think about this. Think about this, that something with the capabilities of traveling light years, not showing a heat signature, and the energy capabilities of that would put the Pentagon out of business. We wouldn't be fighting these worthless wars overseas over oil, and American boys and girls wouldn't be dying. It would put the war pigs out of business, and they'd have to go somewhere else, and I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
President Trump announced that he has doubled the size of the new White House
we have a ballroom that's under budget, It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that. And we're right now on budget, under budget, and ahead of schedule. I doubled the size of it, you dumb person. It's double the size. You are not a smart person. We have a ballroom that's under budget. It's going up right here. I've doubled the size of it because we obviously need that.
Person.
And we're right now on budget, under budget.
Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. I'll turn off that music. So apparently this is a UFO. Somehow whoever's recording it locked the UFO into the same spot on the screen. Kind of weird.
There is no doubt from the way the hantavirus was rolled out and the way they hyped up this ship, and then suddenly there were cases and deaths all over the world of this same strain of hantavirus that's new. Now they're saying it's mutated again. And all they got to do is point a PCR test at somebody that's died and set it to that and turn it up and claim that falsely. That's what they did with COVID 6 years ago. So the propaganda, all the things they've said and done, the UN, World Health Organization head a few days ago saying, you better give us our global treaty, you better take all our shots, you better apologize to us. They have launched their new COVID 2.0. And then magically, as I predicted, there's suddenly all these new deaths from this same strain of hantavirus in different parts of the world that have nothing to do with the ship. First suspected generation 3 hantavirus cases, an Italian who sat alongside a woman on Dutch KLM flight before she died developed symptoms amid fears virus has mutated. Oh, weaponized, gain of function. And the big vaccine makers 2 years ago started multiple companies making their new vaccines that are just now ready magically. Wow. Dutch hospital worker forced to quarantine after possible hantavirus exposure due to PPE failure. Wow. Whoa, we need new lockdowns. Oh, put your mask back on, the EU says. Hantavirus later.
I'm not really worried about the hantavirus. As I've already mentioned before, Hanta stands for fraud, scam. It's one of the, I'm not going to say I was the first person to notice that because I learned it from somebody else, but I definitely was one of the first to tell other people about it, and then I saw everybody else pick up on that notion as well. So it's good to be ahead of the curve sometimes. Alright, JD Vance officially puts all 50 states on notice if they do not aggressively prosecute Medicaid.
What are we going to do to
going
fix
to
that?
Turn off the money.
Today, we are sending across 50 Medicaid programs, we are sending letters that will require them to show that they are effectively and aggressively prosecuting Medicaid fraud in their states. And if they do not aggressively prosecute Medicaid fraud, we are going to turn off the money that goes to these anti-fraud units. And I would say a couple things about this. You may think, obviously, this is a Republican administration. We're all proud Republicans up here. You may think that this is purely a red state or blue state issue. That's actually not true. We see Medicaid fraud issues in Ohio, the state that I used to represent in the United States Senate. We also see Medicaid issues, fraud issues in a state like Maryland, which is obviously a very blue state. But both Ohio and Maryland have worked with us to take this issue seriously. They've worked with the guys behind me. They've worked with our entire team to make sure that they take fraud seriously. Again, this does not have to be a red state or a blue state issue. This is just basic good government. However, states like California, states like Hawaii, states like New York have completely not taken the fraud issue seriously in the Medicaid program. And so for those states that refuse to get serious about fraud, we are going to turn off that anti-fraud money. And if we continue to find problems, we can turn off other resources within their state Medicaid programs as well. Our goal here is not to do that. We don't want to turn off any money. What we want to do is ensure that people are taking fraud seriously. We want to protect Medicaid. We want to protect Medicare. But we can't do that if the states that are administering those programs are allowing those programs to be fleeced by fraudsters. So what are we going to do?
To what extent are Americans' financial situations motivating you to make a deal?
Not even a little bit. The only thing that matters when I'm talking about Iran, they can't have a nuclear weapon. I don't think about Americans' financial situation. I don't think about anybody. I think about one thing. We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. That's all.
Yeah, the whole point of this, in my opinion, a lot of people are getting upset about this particular statement by Trump. I think this is actually a strategic move. He's trying to send a message to Iran that not even the economic situation will deter his stance on, I guess, a nuclear weapon. But it's also strangely making a lot of Americans just go ahead and say, like, hey, like, I don't care if Iran has a nuclear weapon. I'm more worried about Iran. I'm sorry. I'm more worried about Israel. Yeah, they're not so worried about Iran. They're more worried about Israel. That's what I meant to say. Such a strange time to live in. You got to be careful because it seems like Tucker Carlson and Nick Fuentes supposedly being labeled as domestic terrorists, or they're being looked into of being labeled these titles. I don't know if it's going to be successful, but it's all due to the fact of them being anti-Semites of the year and whatnot. I'm sure just about everybody is being labeled anti-Semitic to certain groups right now, but I mean, you got to be able to question everybody. You can't just not question one particular group and then that group have all the power and all of the media influence and everything else. All right, Dr. Oz, talking about fraud.
Unfortunately, we have a reality that, again, we got to face. A third of all hospices, a third of all these programs in the entire country are in Los Angeles. Ask yourself, how is that possible? It's not. There are not that many people dying in Los Angeles. We're not talking about California, just Los Angeles. So Kim and the team, with Janina Wugo and a bunch of other great folks, went through the list of all the people, and we believe that at least half of the hospices in the entire area around Los Angeles are fraudulent. And today we announced 800 of those hospices have been suspended. That's getting us, close to where we think we should be. 800 hospices that last year charged the federal taxpayer $1.4 billion will no longer be paid. Now, Mr. Vice President, if your core business was shut down by the federal government, would you call?
Yes.
You would call. Crickets. We have less than 20 who have complained. We're not even sure those are legitimate. 800 hospices shut down, and we're not hearing much. It's crickets out there. So we believe we're on the right path here. Next is a nationwide moratorium on all new hospice and home health care. Why is that possible? Because when we squeeze the balloon in California and slow the growth of hospice and now take away 800, the payments to 800 hospices, we know what those fraudsters do. They move to nearby Nevada. Next door, Nevada has a 7-fold increase in hospice already. Arizona, Texas, they're moving across the country. So we've today announcing a moratorium nationally. There will be no new hospices or home health care open in this country. If you have the program now, you can keep it. You can go to ones that already exist. We're not taking away any services, but there will be no new ones, licenses granted until we can figure out a better way of working across government.
You know, the president just landed in China a few hours ago. I always, you may know that because of Secret Service protocols that I don't travel outside of the country with the President of the United States. So on days today, I sometimes feel like Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone. I walk into the White House and it's very quiet and no one's there, and it takes me a second to realize exactly what's going on. But we've got a very big announcement today, actually a number of big announcements. And you know, the president just landed in China a few hours ago. So, Dr. Oz, I want to make sure I understand this well. So you're saying that we kicked off 800 fraudulent healthcare providers off of the Medicare system, and not a single one of them called the government and said, hey, you made a mistake?
We've had a handful of calls. We're not sure they're legitimate yet, but it's less than 20 out of 800, and we're auditing them.
Unbelievable. So at least 780 are not even trying to claim that they're not fraudulent. And again, those are businesses that we were giving hundreds of millions, in some cases billions of dollars to, not to provide services, but to make a fraudster rich. It's just completely insane. Drives home the scale and scope of the problem.
Crazy. Rip Anna Paulina Luna says our task force hearing on MK Ultra will be rescheduled for a later date. We were able to confirm one witness, but our other 3 witnesses, rightfully so, were hesitant to testify as they have legitimate concerns. We will announce a new date soon and are looking forward to investigating this topic. Alright, so we got this guy, president of the World Jewish Congress, Ronald Lauder, says their influence across Europe and America has significantly declined despite spending millions of dollars for propaganda. For Jews.
Since October 7, all Jewish organizations in the United States together have spent upwards of $600 million fighting this avalanche of anti-Semitism. I have one question. Has it helped? Has all this money stopped? Did it slow down the hatred against us? The answer is no. All the efforts from TV commercials to full-page ads in newspapers, conferences, all the attempts to tell the world the facts have accomplished very little. That's because anti-Semites already have access to all the facts. And they're not interested in facts or truth. They have their own psychotic narrative that blames Jews for everything under the sun. The Gaza war, the Jews started it. The high cost of gas, the Jews. COVID, developed in a Jewish laboratory. Global warming, it's the Jews. You are wasting your breath to reason with them. You cannot educate an anti-Semite. Case in point, since the Gaza war ended, the demonstrations haven't gone away. They've only grown more violent. Only now, they move from anti-Israel and pro-Hamas marches to targeting Jews, going to synagogues, kosher restaurants, or just walking down the street.
But your conclusion is that changing from the scientific consensus of it being from a lab to a neutral position by the CIA was significantly influenced by Anthony Fauci?
It was significantly influenced by Anthony Fauci's injecting himself into the IC. And to go to the second part of your question about what happened, particularly during the 90-day study, we have documentation that shows that as of August 12th, the CIA was considering calling this a lab leak, August 12th of 2021. And then that changed on August 17th of 2021. Right. And unfortunately, because the CIA would not provide us documentation that we asked for, we have no idea why that changed. And that's
And they
sort
weren't
of
alone
essential.
because we know the FBI was coming to the same conclusion that it was lab leak as well as the FBI. But your conclusion is that changing from the scientific consensus of it being from a lab.
I want to go ahead and say I approve of this teaching style. Apparently it's, I don't know, needed in China for absentees. And I guess this is a way to get boys to come back to class.
民事法律行为自成立时生效，但是法律另有规定或者当事人另有约的除外。法律另有规定或者当事人另有约定的除外。民事法律行为自成立时生效，但是法律另有规定或。
Great performance. I feel like we knew this long ago. It's just we're just having to relearn it very quickly to save society. Is it just me thinking that? I don't know. I think it's a good idea. I don't know. Is it a good idea? I think it's a great idea. I think we should do it. Anyways, the CIA is highly concerned about... the CIA was highly concerned of world domination by Jews following World War II via declassified documents from Merlin Capital. Let's see, are they legitimate? Are these real CIA documents? Let's see here. Can we... Jews in Poland are many times stronger today than before the war, despite the enormous decrease in Poland's Jewish population. Their strength stems from communism and the USSR. Well, that's not good. All right. Nick Sorter says not a single Senate Democrat showed up to the committee hearing with a CIA whistleblower exposing the deep state COVID cover-up. Which I think I just played that video, but let's see if he's got something else here.
Or you could see over the left shoulder of Senator Ron Johnson the empty seats of Democrats, and we can show. I mean, look at that room. And even James Erdman, who is the whistleblower witness today, was asked about, and I believe it was Bernie Moreno who asked him this, how does that make you feel knowing that those Democrats aren't there? And he says that, of course, I wish that they were. I mean, you want everyone to know what he has to say. What is the take on his role on this, though, from Democrats? I know you said that there might have been kind of a joke moment with one of them, but they can't completely ignore this.
Well, they are ignoring it, apparently, Harris. We'd love to ask them what they think about this testimony, but they're not here. They're not in the room. And the witness has given some pretty interesting testimony so far. You know, he's part of the CIA, active member CIA. He said that in August of 2021, the intelligence community was ready to basically declare that this the COVID-19 pandemic began as a leak from that Chinese lab in Wuhan. And then the witness says that Dr. Anthony Fauci injected himself into those discussions, into the intelligence community, and was able to influence those conversations and get that classification changed from the potential lab leak theory to just a neutral theory. So we'll see what else he says in there today.
Fault. I believe it. I believe him. I believe him. Let's just go ahead and lock him up. CIA whistleblower claims the agency took back 40 boxes of JFK and MK Ultra files that Tulsi Gabbard was reviewing for declassification. Well, imagine that.
The CIA refused to provide information necessary to understand why analytical standards at the CIA were violated. The CIA illegally monitored the computer and phone usage of DIG personnel, their investigations, and contact with whistleblowers. These were Americans being spied upon illegally while executing duties directed by the President and under the authority of the Director of National Intelligence. One CIA contractor assisting with the DIG's investigation into the events that transpired between 2022 and 2023 was fired by the CIA one day after meeting with the DIG. When the DIG ceased operations, the CIA also took back 40 boxes of JFK files and MK Ultra files being processed for declassification by DNI Gabbard.
Told you Iran was collapsing. They told you the regime, that's the word they always love to use, was on its last legs. They told you the bombing campaign would shatter Tehran's command structure, break the Revolutionary Guard, break the regime, trigger panic inside the government. Millions would take to the streets, maybe even spark the long-awaited uprising Western leaders and Western think tanks have been predicting for decades. And then something very different happened. Iran did not collapse. Iran adapted. Iran absorbed the hit. After all, they've been preparing for this for decades. Iran responded in the one place where it had real leverage, not in Washington, not in Tel Aviv, not in the skies over Tehran, but here, in the Strait of Hormuz. And suddenly the conversation changed. This wasn't about whether Iran could survive a bombing campaign anymore. This became about whether the United States, Europe, China, India, Japan, South Korea, the Gulf monarchies could survive Iran's control over the most important energy choke point on planet Earth. So according to the United States Energy Information Administration, flows through the Strait of Hormuz in 2024 and early 2025 represented more than 1/4 of global seaborne oil trade and about 1/5 of global oil and petroleum consumption. And around 1/5 of global LNG trade also moved through that same narrow corridor. That is the story that no one in Western media wants to admit. This war may have been sold as the beginning of the end of the Iranian government, but strategically, it may have actually done the opposite. It may have made Iran stronger. And I want to be very clear at the top, this is not an endorsement of the Iranian government. This is not a defense of any kind of clerical rule. This is not a celebration of war at all. This is a hard, cold geopolitical analysis of where we are. Because if you misunderstand your enemy, then you lose. And the West has misunderstood Iran for decades.
The power that selective blockade gives Iran today, in the coming months, and in the coming years, it is power because of geography.
That's Professor Robert Pate from the University of Chicago. He's one of the most important scholars of air power, coercion, and what he calls the escalation trap. And his argument is stunning. He says Iran is not weaker than it was before the war. Iran is now stronger. In his words, Iran is now emerging as a fourth center of global power. Not because it has the GDP of China, not because it has the military reach of the United States, and not because it has Russia's nuclear arsenal, but because Iran has discovered a form of power that the West didn't fully account for. Geography. The power to put the global economy at risk in the Strait of Hormuz. For decades, Western leaders have looked at Iran through one frame: collapse. The sanctions are working. The people are rising up. The economy is breaking. The regime is divided. The mullahs are finished. Every few years, the same story gets recycled over and over again. And yes, Iran has serious internal problems. Inflation had been brutal. The World Bank put Iran's 2024 inflation rate at 32.5%. Its economy is under sanctions. Its young population has been frustrated. There have been major protest waves. There are deep cultural, political, and generational divides inside that country. But here's the mistake. Weakness does not automatically equal collapse, or that they would want Western intervention in order to help the shaping of their government. Now, sometimes pressure breaks a state, but sometimes pressure hardens it and makes it resilient against those who are trying to pressure it. And Iran is not some artificial country drawn on a map last Tuesday. Iran is a civilizational state with a population of more than 91 million people. It is ethnically diverse: Persians, Kurds, Lurs, Baloch, Arabs, Turkmen, other communities. It has mountains, deserts, coastlines, energy reserves, a deep historical memory, and a political culture shaped by invasion, sanctions, coups, and survival. They just keep surviving. The West keeps treating Iran like a regime that needs changing. But Iranians often experience foreign pressure as an attack on the nation, and that distinction absolutely matters, because when bombs fall, people who hate their government can still rally against the foreign power dropping the bombs. That is the part that Washington never seems to understand. And in the history of America, this strategy has never worked. We will bomb your people in order for you to fall in love with us. It doesn't work. Now, if you want to understand why Western regime change fantasies keep failing in Iran, you have to go back to 1953. This was the year the CIA and British intelligence helped overthrow Iran's elected Prime Minister, Mohammad Mossadegh, after he nationalized Iran's oil industry. We can't have that, right? We can't have a country nationalizing its own oil. We want your oil. The National Security Archive has documented the CIA's role in this coup and even notes that the basic facts are widely known in Iran. Everyone there knows that. And that suppressing details, of course, have distorted history and fed sort of myth-making about all of this. But that coup did not just remove one leader. It planted a permanent suspicion in Iranian political culture that when the West talks about democracy, human rights, or stability, it may really mean control over Iran's resources and its political future. And then came the Shah. Then came Sadak. Then came the 1979 revolution. Then came the hostage crisis. Then came the Iran-Iraq war, where Iran watched much of the world quietly tolerate Saddam Hussein's assault. Then came the sanctions. Then came the sabotage. Then all of the assassinations. Then the nuclear pressure. Then more sanctions from the West. And then the new war. So when Western leaders say the regime is about to fall, many Iranians hear something far different. They hear, here they come again. And that is why the collapse narrative is so dangerous. It projects Western desires onto Iranian reality. It assumes that because many Iranians dislike their government, they will automatically welcome American or Israeli bombs. Go ahead and bomb that school. Bomb that bridge so that it takes me an extra hour now to get to work. I don't know who thought of this, but that's not analysis. That is fantasy by the Israelis selling that line to the American people. Now, this is where Robert Pape's work becomes so important. Pape has argued for years that bombing campaigns often produce tactical success, but strategic failure. Bombs can hit targets. Bombs can kill leaders like they have. Bombs can destroy radar sites, command posts, missile launchers, naval facilities, all of it. But bombs do not automatically produce political obedience, and they almost never produce clean regime change.
Starting in March 1945 until the end of July, we picked out 58 cities in Japan, and we bombed them one after one after one, and we killed 700,000 Japanese civilians. This did not budge Japan 1 inch, and there's many cases of this.
Think about Operation Epic Fury that began on February 28th, 2026, and after President Trump gave the final order, U.S. officials described a large synchronized strike involving more than 100 aircraft, cyber, space operations, air defense preparations, carrier strike groups, moving into position. The Pentagon's own fact sheet said CENTCOM began Operation Epic Fury against Iran at the direction of the president and described the goal as striking targets to dismantle the Iranian regime's security apparatus. That sounds decisive, something that could be sold to President Trump. All of those individuals in the Pentagon who love war so much could do a really good job of selling this thing. It sounds overwhelming, shock and awe. It sounds like the beginning of the end. But here's the problem. Military victory, political victory are not the same thing. You can win the first 72 hours and then lose the next 72 days. You can destroy assets, but still strengthen the enemy's will. You can hit the regime and then still unify the nation. And that's exactly what happened. Pape calls this the escalation trap. A stronger power uses force, gets tactical wins, fails to achieve the political outcome, and then escalates it again and again because admitting failure is just too humiliating. That is exactly the danger here. As others have said, we are watching this become President Trump's Vietnam. The West, through air power, could certainly weaken Iran. Instead, though, Iran moved the battlefield. It stopped trying to match the United States plane for plane, ship for ship, bomb for bomb. It went to geography. Just look at the map for a moment. The Strait of Hormuz is not just water, it is a pressure point in the global economy. And at its narrowest, it's only about 29 nautical miles wide. The shipping lanes are just a few miles across. And through that narrow space moves a massive share of the world's oil, liquefied natural gas. Robert Pape describes this as a system-level leverage, not just regional leverage. This is why Iran does not have to defeat the United States Navy. It does not have to sink every ship. It doesn't even have to permanently close the strait. It only has to make passage uncertain. Here's the key to all of this. Modern global trade depends on predictability. Insurance companies need predictable risk. Energy markets need predictable flow. And shipping companies need predictable routes they know that they can count on at a certain cost. Governments need predictable supply. Iran's power comes from making all of that unpredictable. Now, before the war, the Strait of Hormuz saw an average of more than 120 transits per day. But recent data only shows 3 ships passing through on a Monday. That is not a normal disruption. That is a global economy that is collectively holding its breath. And by late April, Iran had largely closed the Strait of Hormuz, while the United States had imposed a blockade of Iranian ports. Peace efforts stalled, President Trump threatening more bombing. So that is not exactly what collapse looks like, because Iran seems to be holding the cards here. That is what leverage looks like. The West said Iran was cornered. Iran said, actually, the world economy is cornered.
Iran's growing power is built on 2 factors. One is geography, and the other is really cheap technology called drones and mines. You put those 2 factors together, and you have Iran emerging as the 4th center of world power, because those 2 factors are more than sufficient to tighten the grip of Hormuz.
Now, this is the part most people miss. When we hear control, we imagine a navy that's occupying the entire strait. But Iran does not need absolute control. It needs selective control. It needs enough missiles, drones, mines, fast boats, coastal gun batteries, surveillance systems, electronic cyber warfare, to make sure that every captain, every insurer, every energy minister, and every trader asks the same question. Is it worth the risk for us to go through the Strait of Hormuz? Lloyd's of London, one of the oldest insurers in world history, stopped insuring those ships moving through the Strait of Hormuz. They've never done that before in hundreds of years of history. Robert Pape argues that Iran's denial architecture does not have to permanently close Hormuz. It only has to introduce persistent selective risk enough to disrupt traffic, spike insurance costs, force global actors to recalculate. That's the new power model. It's not empire. It's not nuclear warheads, by the way. It's not occupation. It's risk. Power is no longer just what you own. Power is what you can endanger. And Iran has shown that it can endanger the artery that carries a huge share of world's energy. That's why the Iran is falling narrative is so backwards. A failing state does not force the IMF to downgrade global growth. A failing state does not force Asia to rethink energy security now that they have fuel shortages and calling on people to stay home from work. A failed state does not make Gulf monarchies wonder whether American protection is enough. And by the way, where has the American protection been for so many of these countries, like the UAE and others who've been bombed, had oil infrastructure destroyed? Where was the United States? Oh, it turns out, sorry, we couldn't help you. A failing state does not turn one narrow body of water into a global negotiating table, a giant geography negotiating table. The International Monetary Fund downgraded its 2026 global forecast to 3.1%, saying the United States and Israeli strikes on Iran, Tehran's closing of the Strait of Hormuz, the retaliatory strikes on oil refineries, other energy infrastructure as drivers of higher oil, gas prices, all a reason for that downgrade. Not to mention the mysterious explosion of oil refineries around the world. Why are all of these going up in flames and exploding? It's very curious. And another report, the UNDP report, warning that 32 million people worldwide could be pushed into poverty by the economic fallout from this Iranian war, especially through energy shocks, food supplies, weaker growth. Just look at the fertilizer problem. It's not leading to the growth of crops, with all of the fertilizer being trapped and unable to spread out around the world. This is not just a Middle East crisis right now. This is global leverage from Iran.
You also have some news coming out of the CIA that you'd like to share.
Yeah, so we were actually just notified that the CIA went in and took documents out of ODNI, multiple boxes pertaining to the JFK files as well as MKUltra. The reason why this is troubling is A, there was an executive order that the president had directed the full declassification of JFK, but then also to the MKUltra files, the CIA famously has said that, you know, all documents were released and other documents had been destroyed. So these are allegedly those documents that apparently never existed, and so very troubling. I did just talk to Chairman Comer, and we are sending in the next hour or so a preservation of documents request to the CIA. I have calls into the White House, to the director of the CIA himself, and so obviously as this develops, we'll keep everyone up to date, but strange times we're living in.
You also have some news coming out of the CIA that you'd like to share.
Yeah, so we were actually just notified that.
Okay. Don't worry, I'm still here. Tim Burgess says the CIA lied about MKUltra existing. They were sued and were forced to admit it, but say they aren't doing it now. Which lie do you believe? Subpoena and preserve these documents now. Rep. Anna Paulina Luna says the CIA has 24 hours to return the documents to Tulsi Gabbard's office, or else I will make a motion to issue a subpoena. These documents have been requested by Congress. Fox News complains, literally cameras everywhere in Beijing. Our driver parked illegally for 2 minutes and got a $40 ticket.
Big Brother is watching. There are literally cameras everywhere in Beijing. We are outside the Haidian station, and I can count at least 20 on this corner. In fact, in Beijing, they've added 1,500 cameras just this year alone. They see everything. There's nobody jaywalking here because they could get a ticket right away. In fact, our driver parked illegally for 2 minutes, and he got a message on his phone that he got a ticket for about $40 US because they saw it on the camera. Now, there are real questions what the CCP's goal is about citizen tracking and social scoring. They say it's to make everybody feel safe. These cameras are watching every minute. They're everywhere. And while they're watching us here in China, we hope you continue to watch. Special report from Beijing. Big Brother is watching.
Today, you can go for a morning run while cameras record your every move and your phone silently surrenders your data. Your everyday transactions generate financial records stored in government-accessible databases. Your calls, texts, and emails can be searched by intelligence agencies without a warrant. In 8 months, your own car can stop you because it wrongly suspects you're impaired. Today, you can go for a morning run while cameras record your every move and your phone silently surrenders your data. Your everyday transactions generate financial records stored in government-accessible databases. Your calls, texts, and emails can be searched by intelligence agencies without a warrant. In 8 months, your own car can stop you because it wrongly suspects you're impaired. Today, you can go for a morning run while cameras record your every move and your phone silently surrenders your data. Your everyday transactions generate financial records stored in government-accessible databases. Your calls, texts, and emails can be searched by intelligence agencies without a warrant. In 8 months, your own car can stop you because it wrongly suspects you're impaired. Today, you can go for a morning run while cameras record your every move and your phone silently surrenders your data. Your everyday transactions generate financial records stored in government-accessible databases. Your calls, texts, and emails can be searched by intelligence agencies without a warrant. In 8 months, your own car can stop you because it wrongly suspects you're impaired. Today, you can go for a morning run while cameras record your every move and your phone silent.
I didn't realize that was repeating. My bad. The government is preparing to seize homes and land using eminent domain for the construction of a data center in Coweta County, Georgia.
Hey you guys, my name's Ansley. I live in Coweta County, Georgia. I wanted to come out here and show you guys firsthand what is happening to our county. So as you can see behind me, we have these power lines. Georgia Power is going to expand these lines to support power to the data center. What they're doing to homeowners is they're taking their homes. This is my childhood home behind me. It is being taken by force by Georgia Power. Homeowners in this county do not have a choice. It is called eminent domain, and they will take it. Hey you guys, my name's Ansley.
Trump says these people are dirty. Todd Blanche says we're lucky to have Trump involved in this. Kash Patel says I have a background into the Oval Office. He has succeeded largely in turning DOJ and the FBI into this political operation. What still exists in the system to slow that down?
I think, as Liz mentioned, there's still a legion of professionals in the law enforcement environment, the Department of Justice, as well as the CIA and other places, the ones who are refusing to follow politically motivated prosecutions, those who are refusing to support any type of political activities on the part of the Trump administration that are inconsistent with the authorities, the responsibilities of the intelligence community, law enforcement community, and the Department of Justice. So we have to rely on these individuals to stand up to their professional responsibilities, and also to the courts, to the judges, to those judges who in fact took an oath of allegiance to the law, not to a political party, not to a person. And, I'd like to think that there are still some members of Congress, certainly, I'm looking for the Republicans who at one point had spoken out against Donald Trump, who had spoken in support of the law, but they seem to have just totally caved. And I think, as has been said, what has happened to our institutions is really going to have long-standing damage to these institutions, to our system of justice.
According to the Department of Justice, Eileen Wong and her former fiance ran a fake website from 2020 to 2022. They published articles at the direction of the Chinese government. Here's an example from Wong's plea agreement in which she instructed to share a story denying the existence of genocide and forced labor camps inside China. A 2023 report looked into the scope of Chinese espionage in the United States. It found more than 200 incidents since 2000, with a significant spike in recent years. Last month, the FBI also gave insight into China's nefarious tactics.
They do these very overt things to scare the rest of the community, and they recruit people to report, within the community. So they're creating this Orwellian climate of fear where everyone is afraid to speak out.
So there are Chinese spies among us. Eileen Wong admittedly one of them.
Dieting happened in April 2025 over Moscow, Russia, but it only really blew up online in early 2026. The video shows a strange saucer-shaped object moving across the night sky. What stands out right away is its lighting, with several lights that appear to be rotating around the craft and a much brighter green light glowing in the center underneath. There also seems to be a faint trail behind it as it moves, which only adds to how unusual it looks. Throughout the video, Russian air defenses can be seen repeatedly attempting to intercept or take down the UFO. However, according to official reports, despite numerous attempts, they were unable to bring the object down. Authorities claim the object was simply a Russian helicopter mistaken for a foreign craft. However, many people strongly disagree with this explanation. The light pattern doesn't match a helicopter at all, especially the idea of lights arranged around what would be the rotor area and a large green light.
Looks like it's smoking. Looks like it's
on top of that,
been hit.
reports say the UFO didn't show up on Russian radar, which makes the helicopter theory even harder to believe. The faint trail behind the craft is another detail that doesn't really fit with normal helicopters. Because of all these inconsistencies, the official explanation has been widely rejected online. Many now believe the footage could show a real UFO, or at least something far more advanced or unusual than a standard aircraft. Still, with limited information...
I feel like the decision-making processes are a little bit chaotic.
A White House policy advisor opens up about the insurgency.
Look who it is, everybody. Owen Schroyer on O'Keefe Media. I don't know if he's like a permanent guy over there or what, because he's still doing his own show, but I don't know. Cool to see he's got a job again.
Internal decision-making processes throughout the White House.
I think it's just the overall tone and like, you know, the government right now is unusual, like trying to fix itself.
Maxim Lott even acknowledges that officials below Trump will often make decisions for the president, presuming what his stance would be.
In theory, everything should sort of come from the president. Yeah. But it might come from the level below him where they're like, I think I know the president well enough to say what he would say on this. Oh, okay. It's like, yeah, if you want to do that, that would be popular. And then at my level, like on level or whatever, still there's a lot of discussion to be like, this is clearly what we want to do.
And this is apparently done with no financial analysis or concern. It's just based on assumptions or on what, quote, feels like a good idea.
There's no like, oh, this will cost $10 million, but like, save people $20 million. There's like nothing like that. It's just like, this feels like a good idea, or like, the basic what's this or something. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, you're good. I like the questions you ask.
Oh, thank you. Meanwhile, another White House official, who according to Maxim Lott could be entrusted to make budget decisions on the Trump administration's behalf, openly declares, quote, we've got to get rid of Trump.
Okay, I feel like jumping in the game now. I'm done with the news. Let's get into it, y'all. What's this gonna play?
I'm really tired. Can we get on with this? He's kind of like a guild master for the Thieves Guild. All I know is that the Doyen and other senior... Did you hear about Braden Lear? What do you want to know? Armand, Vic? Shadow Hide.
I gotta steal $100 worth of gold. I'm gonna sell it back to him. Going in here, right? Damn it. Damn it.
course I'm proud to do my duty.
Your presence here will not be tolerated.
Pathetic.
I fought much crabs more
You'll make a fine pair of boots, lizard.
Shit, I'm
just warming up.
Am I supposed to be impressed?
No. I mean, if I get around to you, probably should be.
Die, damn you!
Take that and send your bloody soul straight to Sultangard.
You dare oppose the
You'll never take me down.
For the Empire!
Run! Oh shit! Ran into that one. I'll admit that. Dodge that one. Shit, he got me.
This is the part where you fall down and bleed to death.
Yeah! For the Empire! Am I supposed to be impressed? Thomas River.
You are actually. Fuck. Got him. You know what I'm doing, guys. You thought that was all for nothing, huh? Everybody's like, what the F am I watching? Alright, here.
Make it quick. The Kvatch Oblivion Gate has been closed. Enough talk.
You're gonna fight me? He's acting like he wants to fight me, but I don't know. He didn't follow me. Wait, still need to go back. I'm supposed to kill that guy? Oh wait, are you the guy I'm supposed to kill? Hold up. What's your name? You're not the guy. I'm gonna go this way.
Show me what you've got. I've fought mud crabs more fearsome than you.
Huh? Right. You got smarter somehow.
Die, cat!
That's the one kind of like cheap thing you can do in the game, is jump around. You're swinging. Do you have anything? Gold. Valen, Giraffe, Silky, that's what I need. Oh, that's why I need to, okay, I need to kill that guy. Yeah, the key. Yeah, I get it. Excuse me. Where are we going now? I lost my waypoint. I don't like it. Key. I see that before. Okay, something's weird. Something's weird. Missing. Gotta be a key in here somewhere. So I gotta go back and pick up a key? Is that what it's telling me to do? Key with me. This guy had 2 keys. I'll take both of them. Probably not the right one, but I don't really care right now. Get the key and get out of here. I think now it's taking me the right way. Just waiting to get the damn key. Oh wait, I didn't see this fucking door. A weird fucking corner. Oh, I wasn't supposed to kill any guards. I don't give a shit. Good job, dude. It's all matters. Wondering, like, what the hell are you doing coming through this door?
Break the law on my watch, will you? I'll be confiscating your stolen goods. Oh, and no gold to pay your fine. It's off to the lockup then.
Hell with that.
And pay with your blood.
This ends here!
We have here. Caught in the act and no gold to pay your fine. I'm confiscating your stolen goods.
No,
now it's off to jail with you.
Apparently I need to go visit that guy.
And pay with your blood.
I need to go talk to the video guy.
Look out!
Shit. see him chasing me. Damn it. I gotta get rid of my bounties first. Safe here. Where's that guy at? We gotta talk about him again. Is he in Burma? It's a good way to get rid of an enemy. At least if you're Argonian. Here he is. Come on, brother. Come on.
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm!
Damn it, he went back up. I gotta stay down. Fuck, he's smart. He went back up for air. Oh wait, did he die? Hell yeah. He went back up and he still died. Nice. Oh, got a key to the castle. Well, I didn't kill him, so that... At least that keeps it from me getting the bounty. The best way to kill people in this game is like just drown them. If you're Argonian, you can like swim underwater without breathing. Or I guess you can breathe underwater. What's up, guys?
Well now, what do we have here? Caught in the act and no gold to pay your fine. I'm confiscating your stolen goods. Now it's off to jail with you.
Oh.
Then pay with your blood.
What can I do for you today?
Oh, where's the option to...
Make it quick. What a thoughtful gift. That's a bit excessive, don't you? Don't make me laugh. Sure, that's cute. I accept. I have no choice. Don't be silly. Sure, that's whatever you want. You're a big fat liar. Sorry.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
Watch out!
I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm!
What you guys fighting him?
What's the matter? Getting tired? I'm just warming up, you pathetic worm! Let's get this over with.
Watch out!
What's the matter? Getting tired? I fought mudcrabs more fearsome than you. Take that!
Stop! You violated the law. Since you lack the funds to pay the court, you must now serve out your sentence. Your stolen goods are now forfeit. Then pay with your blood. Look out!
Talk to this guy.
Do your worst.
still works. I swear I got some lesser soul gems. Greater soul gems. Whatever they're called. Alrighty. Silver longsword. Over encumbered, really? Damn it. Still on a Wuzzies and it's a little bit better. I need a hair hammer. Forgot where to get those. Too many keep forgetting to sell this stuff. No, that's not what I want.
How are you? I'm real. Armand, Christoph, and Striva have special arrangements with the guards and judges throughout Cyrodiil. They can make all your outstanding warrants go away for only half the price of the fines. Armand, they... Shadow High.
Stop! You violated the law. Since you lack the funds to pay the court, you must serve out your sentence. Stolen goods are now forfeit.
Might as well just go to jail. Holy shit, my current bounty is $6,000.
Hope
Going to
you
jail.
rot,
Whatever.
criminal scum.
They're not helping me, so I don't know what to do. They said that they pay off half my freaking funds or whatever. I don't want to break out. Sweet. Wait, what? I thought I decreased. Why? Oh. I'll get it back. Where my shit at?
Hail! Hello! What can I do for you today? The Countess is Heartland Nibanian, and so are most guildsmen and chapelmen, but most others are as Nordish as you'll find. I've got a room, and a cheap one at that. You're looking for one? All right. Is it true that Arentus Falvius will teach people conjuration? I'm really tired. What do you want to know? I can handle some types of stolen property. Shadow hide you.
Morning.
Good morning.
Take my hood. Take my fucking hood. Alright, there it is. Just kidding. I say I don't look all that great without the hood.
Well met. I'm really... Yes, the vampire hunter. As far as I know, he just showed up recently here in Bruma. Not only that, but he already found a vampire among us. Apparently, Braden Lyrian was one of those vile creatures, and Rainil slew him. Kinda strange, though. I never figured Braden to be a vampire. He seemed to be such an likable fellow. Shadow hide you.
I just activated another part of the quest. I didn't even realize.
You're going to have to leave. This is a crime scene, and no one other than ourselves or Reynold Drayless will be allowed access. The culprit in this crime has already been dealt with. It's just a matter of wrapping up the details. I'd tell you more, but frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not sure that I can trust you with that sort of information. I'm listening. I appreciate the gesture. Remarkable. Really now, you're such a charmer. Ugh, that's foul. Oh, please. Are you serious? Good day.
Help me out. Repeated tampering will alert the authorities. What do you want me to do?
You're going to have to leave. The culprit in this crime has all... I'd tell... He's that thief. What are you looking for? The guilds are in a... Good day.
What am I supposed to do? Like dress up as him or something? Kind of weird thing. Oh wait, am I supposed to dress up as a guard? Well, if I'd have known that, then I would have like taken that guard's clothes earlier. I can't believe I had a $6,000 bounty for gold.
Excuse me, brother. Can you spare a moment?
Of course. What is it? All right, so I may have gotten a bit careless. In the end, that's all that matters.
Vaylendreth lies dead, but why the unsanctioned bloodshed? You seem to lack discipline. Here is your reward, but I'm afraid the bonus is forfeit.
I don't care.
I have a special contract that needs fulfillment. In truth, I don't wish to offer it to any other family member. I've come to rely on your abilities. We're usually called upon to take a life, but not this time. This contract requires us to stage the assassination of a marked man. Are you ready? You must go to the city of Coral and break into the house of Francois Mortier. Inside you will find Mortier waiting for you. Do not kill him. You see, Francois Mortier is a marked man. He owes a considerable sum to the wrong kind of people, so they have sent an enforcer to kill him. Here, you will use this specially poisoned knife to stage Mortier's death in the enforcer's presence. This is an unusual contract. Mortier had to make a special arrangement with us before it was approved. I trust in your professionalism. The Dark Brotherhood is not in the business of staging death, no matter how much gold is offered. Sithis demands blood, and blood must be paid. In order to accept the contract, we demanded a life. Mortier offered his mother, and we accepted. Lucien has already taken care of that detail. Spill some blood for me, dear brother.
Get away from me.
So good to see you. Is there anything?
Figure out how to finish this mission. They're gonna go. Burma Mage Guild. Glow dust is on the desk with other alchemy ingredients. Oh shit, I forgot to save. Hopefully there's another save. Start the game back up.
They say that Oblivion Gates have opened outside cities all across Tamriel. Gods preserve us.
It can't be.
Yes.
What's the news from the other parts of Tamriel?
I understand Daedra worship has become increasingly prevalent in the Somerset Isle.
The Ultima have powerful wizards. It could be a dangerous situation.
Maybe.
Everybody's talking about it. It's terrible. The chapel has made enemies here in the past. church is still, I don't think any be seeing it. Well,
Poor Arnor. Seems her boyfriend, Jorunda, has stolen some gold from her and... Good day.
Good to see you. Hey, you're the one that helped Captain Bird destroy that damned Oblivion Gate. Well done, friend, well done. He seems to be different than maybe what he says is true.
Hello there.
Like a town map. Really? I guess I gotta look this up too. One second. North end of the city, directly across from the road, residential homes, up from the Fighters Guild. What the fuck? I know where that is.
Hi.
Mage Guild, found it. Got the sign on the door. Things a little bit easier. Heard you got some gold dust.
Hello there. Are you here to join the Mages Guild?
Sure am.
The guild is always accepting new members. You seem capable enough. Are you sure you want to join?
Yup.
Very good. You are now an associate of the Mages Guild. What a wonderful opportunity for you. Now, please keep in mind that you'll need recommendations from every local guild hall in Cyrodiil before you may enter the Arcane University. I dare say my opinion might have more weight than others, if you take my meaning. Still, all are necessary to proceed. Good luck to you.
I get the recommendations.
Archmage Traven lives there, in the tower. It's a fabulous place. You really should see it someday. I've been there many times myself. The Imperial City just wouldn't be the same without it. Maybe someday, if you know the right people, you might get a chance to see it.
She's right. I might get a chance.
You know what it's like. Guild members who have access to the university can craft their own spells, not to mention chat with the most important people in the guild. A recommendation from me? Well, of course. Raminus would naturally want my opinion, wouldn't he? This is a situation we can both benefit from, associate. You do me a small favor, and I'll happily send along a glowing recommendation. If you can find Jaskar, I'll write the recommendation immediately. He's disappeared. I mean, he's really disappeared. No one here has seen him in days. Molinaro thinks maybe a spell backfired. If someone from the council were to stop by and find him gone, it'd look bad for me. I can't have that. Talk to the mages here and see what you can find out. If you can make Jaskar reappear, you'll have your recommendation. Not only has necromancy been banned from practice in the Mages Guild, but the guild won't deal with anyone who openly uses it. Please come find me as soon as you've located Jaskar.
Like all those guys. In here somewhere. Said there was some in here. Is that it? One second.
Hello?
Got any gold dust back here? Get first person to this. See better. What's up, babe? Good. Nice, nice. You like being close to me, don't you? Can I get around you? Hello. Any gold dust in here? Damn, I really thought that was it this time. The setup was on a table somewhere.
What is it?
Hanging out in here alone, aren't you? Aren't you? It's usually chipper. See the door. Goes back the same way. Alright, we can get it upstairs. Stupid AI is lying to me. I don't know why I keep trusting the AI to give me in gaming directions. It's always wrong. It's like the 10th time I've done this, and I'm just like, okay, I'm not seeing anything near what you're telling me. The cupboard. It's downstairs. Maybe I missed the chance to get it. Weird. Alright, well I need to find out where the merchants are to get it, because I don't know how else to get it. They're gonna sell shit and buy it. I don't know. What kind of elk you need merchants go to somewhere? Gear. The main ingredient. It's the name of the store, I guess.
Finally, a new customer. Please, look around. Just promise me you won't buy from that fetcher Thoronir. Have a look at my wares. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Is it gold dust or glow dust? Now I'm so confused. I'm like, am I looking for gold dust or glow dust? Glow dust? I think I'm looking for glow dust.
You too. If you have any questions, have a look around. You won't find better prices in all Tamriel.
I only had one.
Thank you for your business.
I need to sell some stuff actually too.
May I interest you in some of my fine wares? A fine transaction. Thank you. Come again. Take care.
Claudette Herrick at the Lighted Morocco.
citizen.
I don't remember saying that.
How can I help you?
Supposed to be around here. Never saying that here. There it is.
I have everything for the budding. Can I interest you in some of my wares? I let that go too cheaply. Another satisfied customer. You too.
She's good on your table. What are you doing back here? Not like you looking around.
What do you have to report? Remember that article? One from yesterday.
What's supposed to be? Wait between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. Something weird.
This is the shrine of Azur, queen of the dawn and the dusk. What is your business here, traveler? If you wish to speak to the lady, visit her shrine at dawn or dusk. Leave her. I'll be here.
Dust. Time is dusk. One of the daydream. Requires multiple steps. Time to go there. Okay, I can do this. Why is there so many freaking steps? It's so stupid. Every time I like look into it, I'm just like, why is it so complex? Fucking wolf right there.
all of Boomer joins me in saluting your help in keeping the hordes of oblivion at bay. Goodbye. Yes? Oh, Jean has you looking for me, does she? I'm afraid you're not going to find him easily. I think a spellbacker. That's probably it. I'm afraid... With all due respect, she could... but... It's a little... It's a... I'm afraid... Tell me more. I appreciate the gesture. Was that hard? For me? Was that hard? For me? Hey, how kind.
Oh, stupid. It was great money from
Archmage Trade is the first. Bye.
Mike? Well, look, if Valinara and Jaskar want to have their fun, fine. I'm not going to participate, and I'm not saying another word about it. Take it up with them. Well, I suppose I like her well enough. You mean that? Well, sometimes I feel we're not well. Be seeing you.
I feel like they're really helping me. People in here?
My name... Have a look at my words. I'm sure there's something to suit you.
Feel major wounds. I like the sound of that. Shield on self. Well, that would be nice. Summon Daedra. I don't even know what it is. Is that like a demon? Nope. Manipulation. Open easy lock. Definitely like the sound of that. Oh, no, really? I don't have enough. Son of a bitch.
Tell your friends about me.
I will.
Apollinaire. Good day.
I might keep you myself. I get jealous. Sorry.
I hope I can help.
Actually, I don't even think you're really helping me.
All right, I think I can. And what have you? That's the spirit. You help me pull off a little prank, and I'll help you find your scar. Really, you're going to love this. I'll teach you a spell to unlock things. What you need to do is get into Jean's desk and bring me her manual of spellcraft, okay? Her room is upstairs. Make sure no one sees you. You do that for me, and I'll make sure you can find your scar. Bring me... It's a little too rugged up here for me. Just her... Let me know when you're done with that little task. That little prank yet? You've got Jean's book, I see. All right then. I'll just take that from you. Meet me here in the living quarters, just after 10 p.m. Good day. It was a good idea, wasn't it? I wonder how long she'll spend trying to figure out where she put it down. She won't figure this out for weeks. Ah, it's times like this I enjoy what I do. Farewell.
Quarters after 10 p.m.
ready to find Jaskar? Just watch. You'll see.
Hello there. I hear you've been looking for me. Please don't be mad. We were just having some fun. We just get tired of Jane's lord in her position over us when she barely knows anything about magic. Every now and then, we like to trick her. We figured it was time to move on to a new prank. This one was getting boring anyway. So, you can tell her you found me. Finding ways to confuse her just never gets old for me. It's good practice of our skills, too. But it's mostly just funny. There's not much to do here in the Broma Guild. If you can get to the Arcane University, though, they let you make your own spells there. Well, it was fun while it lasted. I'll have to start thinking of something new to try. Intriguing fellow from what I've heard. A cut above the usual street corner rapper guzzler. He's the talk of Anvil, apparently. What day?
You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something. Yes, well, let's never mind that. You've fulfilled your end of the bargain, though, so I'll fulfill mine. Romanus will have my recommendation. And don't you forget about me once you've finished your training. I'm sure we can help each other out.
You say so.
Some say... Bye.
Bye. It makes you like go to every single town every time you do something.
To earn a recommendation from me, you need simply prove you are able-bodied and prepared to learn something in the process. Archmage Traven was right to ban necromancy. Archmage Traven has closed the doors of the university to all who are not qualified to enter. It's in the Imperial City. Unlike some frivolous tasks you may be given at other guild halls, this is a serious matter and has consequences. Are you prepared? Then allow me to explain the task. The Council of Mages has entrusted me with resolving a situation along the Gold Road. Several traveling merchants have been found dead along the Gold Road. Even more missing. The Council has asked us to actually stop it. You are going to help me do so.
I mean, I am.
We believe the killings are the actions of a rogue mage. Battle mages have been sent to the Green Cross Guild, the only common link between the victims. You are to travel north to the Green Cross Guild and speak with Ariel Gerard. She will give you further instruction. Some mages do not abide by the principles of the guild and operate outside its boundaries. Many hold little value for the lives of others. The frost burns found on the victims in this case indicate a mage was responsible for their deaths. These scrolls should provide sufficient resistance to frost magic when and if... It's a sad thing to think that a mage would kill helpless merchants for the wares they carry. Good day. Hello, associate. The Anvil Mages Guild is proud to follow the example Hannibal Craven sets for us. Mastery and scholarship, free of the dark arts. The in-lock... This is a harsh... What better way to learn the many uses of restoration? You may have... The maid. Farewell.
Most of them have marked archives. I just have 2 on my map now. Soon this is
Hello, sir. I can show you some new things.
I don't have any money.
Yes. Not funny. Not even a little bit. I doubt it. Goodness, what can I say? I can't argue with that. That's enough. I doubt it. No, you do need too much honor. You should be ashamed.
She hates jokes. Why?
I doubt it. What a wonderful compliment.
She likes being coerced. It's weird.
That's enough. Fault.
And let's talk about this.
It's enough.
got a point. No, you do need too much armor.
Damn. That's not what I wanted.
Get away from me. I can't argue with that. Really now, you're such a charmer. I doubt it. Your fault.
Why does it keep starting like this?
Get away from me. It's enough.
Did you like this?
I doubt it. Please. I'm embarrassed. But thank you. You've got a point. Ugh, that's foul. No, I doubt it. I won't fight you. Really now, you're such a charmer. I doubt it. Ugh, that's foul. I doubt it. I won't fight you. Please. Not funny.
Damn,
Not
I'm
even a little bit.
He hates you.
You should be ashamed. I doubt it. What a wonderful compliment. I can't argue with that. Goodness, what can I say? I doubt it. Get away from me. I can't argue with that.
I'm just trying to get it up now.
It's enough. You should be ashamed. No, you do need too much. I doubt it. Really now, you're such a charmer. I doubt it. Ugh, that's foul. It's enough. Ugh, what a wonderful compliment. I doubt it. I won't fight you.
Now we're getting up there.
I can't argue with that. What a wonderful compliment. I doubt it. You should be ashamed. No, you do need too much armor. You win this one. I doubt it. Ugh, that's foul. What a wonderful compliment. I doubt it. That's enough. Ugh, that's foul. That's enough. You should be ashamed. Really, I doubt it. Your fault. Really now, you're such a charmer. I doubt it. I can't argue with that. I won't fight. You're faulty.
I don't know why I'm still doing this. I'm just trying to get the points up as high as I can. Damn it, I want to stop now.
It's a man. Ugh, that's, I doubt it. Really now, you're such a child. You too.
I don't know what to do. My speech crapped up.
How goes it? Yeah. Captain Duval's rumored treasure has to be true.
I don't know. I think I'm done for tonight though. Anyways, hopefully you liked whatever you watched. Go to bed, yo. If you like, go ahead and like it. If you're new to the channel, please follow me. And I don't know. May or may not be unlocked. Go to sleep though. Good night. Peace be with you. Or whatever. As you survive this